Okay, this is a video I'm testing. Thought I turned my light off. Now it's off. Sorry about that. This is a video of the design for the tender body components. You've been seeing bits and pieces of it. I have one over here that's partially, whoops, it's over here, partially assembled. You can see the front end is starting to take shape, and I've got the back cleaned up, and I'm working on the lid right now, and I do have the lid in there. And I'm just going to show you the pieces. The four corners are identical, and they have little slots in them, and then the side panels each have a tab that fits into those corners, so that's comes together. And the original thought was we would glue them in, and then that would be fastened, everything would be fastened, and then you would take it off of the chassis frame here and lift it up. They would be bolted underneath, and you would lift it up to get to the guts inside, which would stay on these adapters. Everything's bolted down inside, nothing just rattling around. But I'm not sure. We're going to experiment with the tabs, see if we can use them or not. The piece I just finished right now is this lid, and it's going to come down and hide the tops, and it's also going to present the water entry hatch. And we're going to build this out here to have a mound of coal. The thing that I had seen before was someone took a screen, like aluminum screen in a door or window, and just cut out a square of it, fit it in there, glued all the edges, and pumped it out, and then spray it with watered down Elmer's, and then cover it with fake coal that we have for the coal loader and stuff. And you just fill it in, and you can give it shape if you want and all that. And it looks pretty darn good. The part I liked about it was it gives us a little airflow in here, because we're going to have some electronics, but we also have the speaker, and that would allow the noise coming out of the speaker to escape. So this is the model that we got, or I got, that Leon worked so hard on. And then this is the model that we're kind of mimicking for this. And this isn't the only tender we're going to have. This is our first one, okay? So I've got the steps. I've got this kind of bulky stuff there. I'm not sure what all that is, but we've got it in there. And then I've copied the lid on top and all that. And I'm probably going to be adding more detail to the back. And some of this stuff we plan to put on would be in brass or metal, like the ladder and some other, the handles. Those would all be drilled and fitted by the buyer or the user. We're targeting this for guys that like want to build the kit kind of thing. So you get all these pieces, and with or without digitals. If you're going to have your own electronics controller, then you wouldn't buy any of these parts. I would build you a straight flat layer here, and you could drill holes in it and mount your stuff, and then these parts would be deleted. So there's a number of ways we can offer this if you want as a kit. It's S-gauge. It's a little longer than the standard. I mean, you can see here it's this long, much longer. So it fits well with the Pacific, the K5. We can actually go a little longer and extend this down quite a ways for the Hudson if we want to. And then this also allows us to put in our all-wheel pickup trucks, and if we want, we can put a sensor on that axle shaft for telling us rotation of the wheel if we don't have it anywhere else. So that's where we're at. Now on the print side, this is where I am right now in the printing, and if we get really close up on it, you'll see the dots are the rivets, and here you can see some rivets are missing. I don't know what happened. They're just not there. But I'll go back and figure out, maybe I didn't attach them or whatever I'm supposed to do. I'm not sure. But I'm printing on this machine. This is about a 5-year-old Creality 10S Pro that's been pretty severely modified. First thing you'll notice is it says Clipper on the screen. and over there is a clipper screen that we're running with. So it's using an updated firmware. But I wanted to show, if I can, the rivets as they're being printed. And I was really impressed with what I'm able to get. Now, I've got this down on a pretty high quality, you might say, high detail, okay? And they're coming out. I mean, I'm pretty impressed. So it looks like, now this is going to take, it's over 2 hours already. It's been in there an hour, and it's got another hour and 40 minutes for 4 posts. This is a slow process when you print on our the FDM deposited material stuff. It takes longer. There's just no question about it. But we can get some decent quality out of it this way, and I think that'll help us relieve some of the angst. I don't know. I'm torn between, what is it? I mean, we have model trains. Some of us refer to them as model train, toy train, but then there's this core of folk that refer to themselves as scale modelers, and they're scary because they're like, if they could put a steam engine, real steam engine in it, they would. And they like it to look like it's a real damn train from 3 feet away. I'm not sure I'm capable of doing that, but Leon and I chatted about the last few days is I'm going to give him the best platform that I can that will be a scale. It'll be 1/64th. It'll represent an engine that we saw or know, and it may not have everything exactly where you want it or what you want. For example, the railings. I hadn't planned on putting railings on. I can drill holes for the railings, or I can pass that on to the modeler. I mean, if the scale guys are really tough and they know their dimensions, then if the shape meets their needs, then they can put the detail stuff on where they want to put it. I think that's reasonable. Otherwise, if you're a hobbyist and you're like me and you're just happy the damn thing runs around the track, then I think this will be fine. You can detail it all you want. My one guy in Kansas, oh crap. Anyway, the Indian train guy, sorry. He does a great job with paint and detailing, and he's doing it on his own. I mean, he's not a scale guy. He doesn't count the rivets. He knows what they are and all that. But you know, some people do and some people don't. So I'm a little mixed on how that's going to shake out. I guess it doesn't matter. I'm building what I can build. That's it. I'm not doing this. I'm not a corporation. Nobody can sue me. They can yell at me if they want, but they won't get very far because, you know, I can only do what I can do. And we're going to be adding, I'm going to be adding more rivets to the sides and the, you know, wherever they're supposed to be. I'll find a way to, I see they're on the lid here. I see I missed that. I don't have them on the lid, so I'm going to be riveting the lid to get it down. That'll be fun. Hey, it's thin. And we'll just print it, and it'll take a long time to print, but I think it'll look pretty darn good, and it should give us a base, you know, a base, a core, or a starting point for building new trains, new model trains for the S guys. That's the idea. Now the engine, you know, will have, they'll have the modifications. It'll have the DC fields in the flyer motor. It'll have, if this one has the flyer smoke system, but I've put the red lid on it. And I'm preparing this one to send to Leon. He'll be getting all new gear. This is the all new printout. This is how they would come. And I was telling him, you know, he says some of his people want DCC. He says, well, I don't know what that requires. I don't know, and I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just take this off, and I'll just create a very flat plate with no holes in it. It'll have the holes for the wheels, and it'll mount, so it'll bolt up. But they can take their gear, lay it down, punch out the holes, drill them, tap them, and mount their equipment. I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to try to adapt everything I do to them. but I can give them the basis of the platform. They can get the all-wheel pickups, right? And we can get them in 4 or 6. So, saw somebody had 8-wheel tenders on 8-wheel trucks on a tender, big heavy tender. Oh, I know what it was. The T1, the Penske T1, Penze T1. We're gearing up for that. I've ordered the books that have the dimensions in it. It's a very long engine. It's 2 Atlantic type chassis drives. What was funny is they have 2 steam boxes. So the one boiler feeds the 4 steam boxes, 2 on the right, 2 on the left. And they're independent. And then they have the drive gear, 2 drive gears coming out just to drive those 2 wheels and those 2 wheels on each side. And they're not articulating. It says articulating. I'm not sure what that means, but in this case, I've read the detail on this T1, and the 2 drives were not articulating. They were bolted, riveted, or whatever they did to the exact same frame rails. So they did not turn. You had to accommodate, those 8 wheels had to accommodate what curves they were going to take. So they couldn't have been taking very tight curves, I guess. I think we'll be fine on our track. What we have is not too desperado. And if we have to, we can always take the rim off the inner wheel so that's only the end 2 wheels, much like the Northern, right? It would be the Northern with 2 drives. All right. So this is what I've been working towards. The door alone, this back door was a couple hours. This lid was a couple of hours. You think, oh, you just sketch this out. It doesn't work that way. I mean, I did my little cartoon, I call them, of the key dimensions, what I think it should look like, what I'm worried about as far as spacing, how I can do some detail, and what I'm going to add for this, that, and the other. But then when you put it in CAD, it gets a whole different ball game, because this machine needs to know exactly, and it'll put it somewhere if you tell it to, and it may not be where you expect it. Then you have to fit them all back together, and there's always I have a problem when I edit. Sometimes I edit a part, and I'm adding a bump or something to it, and it says, do you want to fuse that on here? And sometimes it's really close to another part. When I say yes, it starts fusing it with other pieces I don't want it to. And that's another exercise in frustration with tools, right? Okay, so that's what I've been up to. I'm expecting parts. I'm expecting some parts today and all of next week. I'm getting the ball bearings for the mini mill. I want to get the mini mill going. I got my T1 chassis. I think I'm going to have one with the smoke and one without. The motor, the both have motors. This one may be, oh, I'm sorry, where am I? Okay. They'll both have motors, but this one may be shortened so that if we can fit them in. If he has a motor, his motor's going to come into there. So it could be that tight, but now you see what happens. We may have to take the rims off of these guys, so this is the 2, blah, blah, blah. It gets to be a very long body. We'll see what happens. I made a new part for this guy because I like this guy's design. It was pretty, I mean, it's 3 hours to print this, massive amounts of plastic. But you can see it's a lot more robust than I was putting together. So this one goes like that, I believe, and it will bolt together. It's very nice. And what I'm going to do when I take this apart to put this part on, I'll have the bearings. They're on our way. I'll have a thrust and a roller bearing. So we'll put bearings in here, both ends, and then put it back together. See how that works. And if I feel comfortable with that, then I'm going to do the other one. I haven't printed the part yet, but it'll be similar. I think it comes in backwards. It goes like this because this is flat on top. Right. So it goes like that. A little different. And let's see, got to come up with better. This part isn't the real part. I mean, the chassis is here, right here, and it's going to be without the wheels, so it'll sit down about like that. So it's about 80% the size of that. But I've got to have better clamps. There's probably going to get one on each end, and I'm going to have some reach over stuff. I'm probably going to have to I was thinking of 3D printing. I saw a guy printed his own clamps. They were thick, you know, C-shaped, and then they had a swoop down so he could just screw them right to this piece and then clamp them up. And it worked, seemed to work. So I may try some of that, make sure I can get this thing fixtured, and then I might get on this back piece. I was thinking about putting in some kind of a stop plate, so when I get the next chassis in, it just pretty much goes where it's supposed to be. And then all I do is I do a setup using the jogging, and I bring this cutter over to the start point, and it's sitting right over that corner, which would be the start point. And then I turn it on, and I turn this on, and I turn the program on, and the CNC takes off. It plunges it, and he'll make his outline from that start point. That's how it does it. It's not. There are probes. You know, you can actually use this thing, go around and probe the part and all that. We're not getting there yet, but we're working towards it. I did work on my dust collector because I know this is going to be mad nasty. So I made an adapter to put my vacuum up to that. Now this vacuum is a shop vac. It's a pretty powerful vac. It makes a lot of noise, sucks a lot of air. But when you go from a 2-inch to a 6-inch to a 19-inch TV screen, you're not pulling in much air. So I'm going to have to come up with some baffles or something to bring this up here. Andy sent me a piece that actually fits around here, and it comes out and it's round. You put the hose like this. You put the hose here, and it'll actually suck it right out of the hole. I'll print it and we'll see if it works or not. I still can't get over these boards and what you can get out of what they call shields, the things that you just bolt them on. This is the second board. I have it running the gerbil stuff already, the CAD to CAM G-code, so I can turn steppers with him too. It's pretty amazing. All right, well, I'll get back to it, let you guys go, and just filling you in on where we are and what we're doing. It's tender day. Yeah, the rivets, they seem to be coming in. I don't know, it's pretty exciting. Yeah, they're still there. You can see them. All right. Another day, another dollar. Tomorrow's Sunday, a little football going on. Weather's not so hot, so it looks like I'm going to be authorized to work some overtime. Later.